Yo, what is happening? So it has been more than a minute since I've been on this YouTube game. I've been off social media since my last YouTube. Life has completely changed. And I thought I'd do something a little bit like this. It's going to be a bit of the Q&A on my Instagram and a bit of a life update, a bit of a vlog. So here we go. So today we're staying at Crown Hotel. My boy Brodie's coming. We're staying the night here. We're going through a bunch of cool stuff. I'm going to run you through it. Run you through dinner, the pool, the this, the that. So let's get the vlog going. Hey, welcome back to this Q&A. I already did a little bit of this, but now I'm going to re-answer these NGLs. Obviously, my man Brodie couldn't be along part of this, so hopefully you enjoyed the little bit of vlog in between all this. I'm going to just pretty much have like a bit of vlog, Q&A, and vlog.
Have increasingly become crazy and self-destructive because through excessive thinking.
Let's fucking go, baby.
Let's just dive into it. So the NGLs, some of them cannot answer, guys. Just too much heat. Okay, so question number one. Why doesn't my crush like me back? So if you sit down, you evaluate yourself as a person, pick apart yourself. What may you be doing too much of? What may you be not doing enough of? How do you represent yourself? How do you show up as yourself? Your own self-demeanor and self-reflection is what you should be caring about more than your crush. I know they look good, they feel good, like they might everything give you and that little butterfly feeling, but at the end of the day, there's more people in the world. I'm sure you can just bump into somebody, like say you go interstate, like I'm in Perth, you find somebody, you're like, oh, very attractive, got those butterflies, they're my new crush. So don't ever limit yourself, always self-develop yourself, be the best version of you. My guy, what have you been up to?
What's up, baby?
Welcome to the YouTube.
You good?
You good?
We're good. What are we at?
You good? Right here.
Education is somehow spoiled for us unless photographed.
Welcome. Bro, I had to feed my guy. I got you pizza? I'm gonna get you something else.
More fun for us than the original event.
To the next business venture.
Fucking
This
hell.
is a disaster.
Get it on.
For as a result of confusing the real world of nature,
Q&A?
mere science,
Vibes?
Oh, yeah.
But two questions that are into one. Do you believe in religion? And am I religious? I do believe in everybody having their own religious views. I personally don't take action towards my religion. I'm Christian Orthodox from Bulgaria. Raised like that from my family, raised like that from my parents. Went to church and stuff all the way up to about, I think it was like 7 or 8 years old when my parents were together. Super fun, super cool to be part of like the community. I found the community was really cool. But I always find there's somebody, I believe in somebody's out there watching, something's out there. There's a greater like God. But I'm not one to have to fulfill every part of my life to the Bible and all those sort of points of view. I do respect everything. I do believe in like a higher person, a higher God, higher.
Like, literally fucking bashed everyone out of the way to grab it. Like, it was fucking, it just looked stupid, right?
Guys, so Brodie and I are just having a conversation right now about just like weddings and shit. Does everybody, I used to do this because I'm not in a relationship anymore, guys. This is a fun fact about the YouTube update. But when I used to go to weddings and shit, there used to be like this expectation. I just asked my mate Brodie, because he's been in a relationship for a long time. He's like, did you get the question? Did you get the thing? Are you next? The baby, the this? And he was just saying about some dumb diving for the flowers desperately.
Do I have a lot of clients using performing enhancing drugs, and you being natural does that defer you coaching them? No, I have had several clients on steroids throughout my career. I've been doing this for about 7-8 years. And it's at the point now where it's more often than not, somebody has tried it, somebody's trying it, and somebody's on it, but you can't tell they're on it. I find the misconception with performance enhancing drugs, everybody thinks instantaneously everybody's massive, everybody's going to have like these whirlwind results. But in reality, if you're not eating right, you're not training for a long time, you're not training consistently, yeah, it will look good for like 2-3 years, but then you fall off, you're going to look really bad, you're going to feel really bad for your health. So no, I don't have a problem with my clients being on steroids. I have trained people on steroids. It's one of those things. It's common. I myself being natty, I'm just natty for me. Everybody does their things. I always just attain them, and I just sit back and I just give them like the big rules of thumb. I just give them the big why.
That thing is like, if so, you know, if all your friends are getting married, it's like this weird pressure for you to get married. And if all your friends get rich, there's like a pressure for you to get rich.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. It just all circles. Everything here is circles in life. So, right now, I'm with my boy in the casa, right? All we're going to talk about tonight and have fun is what, Brodie?
How to make a milli, baby.
But it's just your surroundings, guys. Who you're surrounded with impacts everything. Like, the life I've changed the last 5 months, all I'm surrounded by is just, like, positivity. As soon as I hear negativity, I'm just like...
Fucking leave it immediately.
This is different. Is there low-key somebody you would love to pursue, but they're in a relationship and you know it will never happen? I never think like that. If I'm in a relationship, I'm in a relationship. If somebody's in a relationship, they're in a relationship. Of course, they look pretty. You'd be like, oh, you look good. They might be like, you look good. But I am the most loyal of loyal. I never want to disrespect the partner. I never want to go over the line of cheating. I've seen my parents cheat. I've seen friends cheat. I've seen divorces. I've seen everything. And I would never want, if I'm checking out of a relationship, I would just be like, deuces, I'm going to move on in my life. I'm going to go invest time into this girl. And say that person finally becomes single, then I'll be like, all right, cool. Might ask her for a coffee, but not too soon, because you don't ever want to be a rebound. No rebounds in this world. I would never do it because, one, emotionally, you're like on that dopamine high. You're like, oh my god, this girls, they look good, this, that. So just my point of view.
Okay, Brodie, give the homies a bit of an update on life.
Life on my end, absolutely hectic. Like, not enough time in the day, not enough time to get things done, but we just keep grinding, getting my thing. I'm still working a full-time job, which is covering 55 to 75 hours a week, so anything after that is when I can focus on more myself, what I want to do. But I don't necessarily have anything planned in mind. I just can't not work. I have to be doing something. So, you know, whether or not that is my full-time job consuming my life, or if that's something outside of that, you know, I can't just be sitting around doing nothing. I need to be doing work. So it doesn't really matter what industry it's in. I just have to be doing something.
What do you find to be your biggest goals, aspirations for this year to accomplish? Now that we're in March, like overviewing everything we have planned. Like, we have a lot of plans. It's just like, what are you most pursuing?
So goals pursuing probably have to be, I don't know, actually securing some funding behind my business maybe. Definitely having some like, let's say savings in my business account, and not from me putting it in there, from actually working. So having the income, so passive income.
Tell the people what your business is.
My business is Brodie Leigh Studios, so it's very broad. The name is broad because I'm not just doing one thing. So doing media, film, photos, but also going to be doing personal training, going to be doing online coaching, going to be doing online mentorships as well. Like that type of thing is something that I'm pretty heavily invested in. So yeah, and just doing, you know, YouTubes, TikToks, and just enjoying my life. And that is what my business is about. It's about staying true to who I am and not changing anything.
Okay, this is a very spicy one. I'm going to have to have a sippy for this. What he wrote, would you fuck a client? If not, guess I'm not a client anymore. So, whoever said this? Oh, lovely. No, I would never fuck a client. I'd never sacrifice my self-image, my values, my business for possibly 10 to hours of pleasure. 10 seconds to hours of pleasure. I just joke. And I would never want to cross that line ever. It would be one of those things where it's like, yeah, it could be good, but then you think about it in like a 5-year, 10-year scheme. I'm like, okay, what is the decision going to make for Ivan in 10 years' time? It's going to be known like every other PT out there who just has sex with their clients. Not good. So to answer that question, no. If I was ever interested in a client, they were interested in me, we'd lay it out, be like, all right, here's your money back, or cancelling you, let's just try this out because we both want to pursue it. Like that.
Thank you.
Do either of you care about looks when it comes to who you date? I'm sure Brodie will be the same one on me like this, but I personally do, as shallow as it sounds. I'm a guy who likes taking care of myself physically, just getting my hair done all the time, looking good, feeling good, dressing up, all that sort of stuff. So I'd want my woman to resemble the best version of herself. If she's feeling good, she's looking good, she's dressing up, she's feeling good, she's doing her nails, doing her hair, whatever she has to do to feel confident and good. And I'm like, oh, you look killer. So yeah, it's like a thing. You can't just be with somebody just for their personality. Like, personality is like 100% like, I need to talk to you, but I want you to look pretty too. But if you look only pretty and you can't hold a conversation, like, no. If you're talking to me about just like going out, getting pissed, this and that, lost within yourself, don't have money, this and that, I'm just like, ugh, bounce, no matter how pretty you look. So yeah, look pretty, but then also back up your looks. So it sort of goes hand in hand. And like, the more confident you are with yourself, personality, things you're doing, the more attractive.
Okay, guys, so I'm going to add this into the YouTube video, but I just got called out by a client that's really salty about their programming, and then Brodie said this. So Brodie's been on a client since he was 19. Listen to this. This is the first ever thing I said to him.
So I contacted Ivan wanting to, become a client and pretty much wanted to compete, right? And Ivan called me up and was like, yep, cool, no worries. Well, what's your numbers for, like, let's just say bench press? And I was like, oh yeah, like, 80 kilos. And he was like, okay, what's your squat? And I was like, oh, I don't squat. He was like, okay. He's like, what's your deadlift? And I was like, I don't deadlift either. He's like, what's your rack pull? And I was like, oh yeah, fucking 150 or whatever. He's like, alright, so you're weak. And I was like, that's a bit offensive. I was like, ugh. And so my first ever program was 8 weeks of strength building. And in 8 weeks, I fucking went up 50% in every single one of my lifts. Every single one of them, 50%. And then we moved on to more of a hypertrophy accessory building range for another 8 weeks after that. But that was my first ever program with Ivan, which is just 8 weeks of strength. That was it.
Pushing,
push,
hinging.
pull, legs. Push, pull, legs. That's all it was.
And this is the thing I wanted to refer to. Everybody who's watching this Q&A and then all this sort of stuff. I'm not going to answer that stupid topic because this is the fundamental answer. I have trained for 8 years. I think 8 years. I'm 27 this year. I started 17. Fuck, nearly 10 years, bro. I've only been training 10 years, guys. And out of that 10 years, when I've been consistent, all I've done is I've benched, deadlifted, squatted, I've rode horizontally, vertically, fucking pullovers, fucking bicep curls, push downs, just the exact same thing I've done to get my body to what it is now. I've done the exact same thing for my business every day since I was 17. I've done the exact same thing for my values in life to get where I am. The basic principle, do the same thing repetitively and perfect your craft.
This is the way I look at it, right? You go to work for 8 hours a day. What do? Oh, you did the same thing you did fucking yesterday, or the day before, and the same thing you're going to do tomorrow, right? Obviously with variations, I understand.
A bit of dopamine,
yeah.
A bit of oxytocin tucked in here and there.
But I'm saying...
Not at work.
Not at work. But I'm saying, let's just say you do data entry, right? Well, you're entering data, and what are you doing tomorrow? You're entering data, and then you're entering data again. So at the gym, why would you not do the same exercises? You know what I mean? You're going to get faster at entering data at work, or you're going to get stronger at doing that exercise at the fucking gym. So just keep doing it. It's not rocket science, is it?
So yeah, that's us answering it.
Call up Elon and ask him.
What do you do when you have bad days? Days you don't want to go to the gym, work, etc. I've had a couple of these in my day, especially last year, everything I was going through. I always have like a 5-minute thing. I put on a 5-minute stopwatch and I sit there in my thoughts and I'm like, all right, get all the negative shit out. And then after that, I piece together of how me avoiding going to work, avoiding going to see my friends, avoiding going to this, avoiding going to this aspect, how it's going to impact Ivan in 5-10 years. I always go back to the 5-10 year thing because it's just the way I think. Whatever we do now is what we're going to end up at. The routines, the patterns, the values, the way we show up, everything now is going to impact us when we're older. I'm 27 this year. Me at 37, I want to be far much ahead I am now. So if I'm at a point now where I'm like, oh, Ivan, you're sad, don't go to work for a week. It's not going to be good for Ivan in the future. So yeah, I just sit there, think about it. But I do little things, like I go out, I book like a little trip away. Like this Perth trip is a business trip, but it's going to be like 2 days just like for my mental sanity. So I have like a 3 to 6 month rule where I go away 2-3 times. But now with like sporadically with Revo being a thing, we go away more for work, which is sick. Hanging around with good people, good energy. I cut out all bad energy usually. So if I'm having a conversation with a person, they're down, cut it. Don't reply to the messages. Don't do anything. I just don't want to be always around negative energy because my job is very taxing. I listen to negative things on a daily, hourly basis, sometimes 14 hours a day back to back. So best thing, disengage yourself from negative energy, surround yourself with positive energy in a circumstance where you feel a bit more of mental clarity. So like the beach, the pool, doing yoga, doing some of this, hanging out with your loved ones, hanging out with a little biddy, hanging out with your best friend. All those sort of circumstances can just raise that little bit of energy within yourself, and good conversation really helps too, so good talk.
A person who thinks all the time has nothing to think about except thoughts. So he loses touch with reality and lives in a world of illusions. By thoughts, I mean specifically chatter in the skull.
Stop programming. We need to edit these videos for the client that's already paid us.
Look, all these clients, we're doing everything at once. This year is all about multiple businesses. Like at the moment we're juggling Envysion, we've got Envysion Productions, we've got Brodie Leigh Studios, combining into this, and we're just doing way too much.
We got sparkling water.
And we're asleep. The hardest thing right now for me is balancing sleep.
Listen, so we got right here.
So what do we got here?
Chicken, pork, barramundi, because man's on summer shredder. So, and then we got potato, but you're not gonna have too much potato, all right?
We have to stay up for over 12 hours.
So listen, this is for me, and that is for him.
And then you another 10 of these.
We got a couple fucking espressos. Gondi.
Alright, home Braves. Brodie, what's the time? Okay, so 10 past 12, finished the Envysion Fitness stuff with coaching. I had a mental breakdown. And I literally sat here, even asked Brodie, editing everybody's shit. And I still have to do everybody's Google Forms. The next thing on the agenda, we have to edit 375 clips. He's already done 2 videos. I'm about to punch out 5 videos, and then I have to do a whole bunch of Google Forms, and then I have to go to work. And we have to record the Q&A still.
Bomb alive!
Most of us would have
And Luke,
rather money than tangible
Paul,
wealth,
Vince.
and a great occasion
Oh,
to
boom, 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 boom.
spoil for us unless photographed.
That's what it was. Fucking had to pick my
And
fucking memory.
to read about it
Because I
the next
couldn't
day
fucking
in the
remember.
newspaper
And it's fucking
is odd.
12:34 in the
more
morning.
fun
And I want
for
to.
us than the original. This is a disaster.
Friend, do I have a girlfriend? No, I don't have a girlfriend.
With mere signs.
Probably won't have a girlfriend for a long time, unless I stumble upon perfect mamacita. At the moment, I'm just going with the flow of life, talking to whoever I want to, experiencing things, traveling, bumping into people, having dinners with people, catching up with friends, catching up with old friends, making new friends. I'm far much more concerned on experience and good energy and good people around me, more so than having to let in a partner again. If I had to let in a partner now, it would be very much so. We have to be sort of more so on the same wavelength. Like, she's doing her thing, I'm doing my thing. Then I'm like, hey, I spontaneously booked Perth. You coming? Cool, we're coming. Hey, you booked Tokyo for us, we're going. Hey, you're building your business, I'm building my business, you're doing your PhD, you're doing this, that. So somebody who just sort of bounces between me rather than being reliant of having me around too much and needing all my energy towards them. Or we just balance it 50-50, we just bounce off each other, have a good talks, have good chats. Of course, it's not always perfect relationships, but yeah, no girlfriend, just lots of good moments and energies and people that I talk to right now. So I'm not a hoe at all, but yeah, not too concerned with a relationship until I fall into it, because I'm never going to pursue somebody like really hard if they don't give me anything back. Like, all right, deuces, like, it's cool. And I have one more just says, how are you? I'm well, I'm good, I'm excited for life. I've got some cool things happened. I bought a house, traveling to America, but that's going to be all in the next videos. So I'm going to end on that, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's just one of those new chapters that YouTube's going to be a lot different, because I get to travel around and I'll get to do this, get to that, revo this, that in America in a prep series. So a lot of fun stuff to do. So get keen for the next vlog. It's going to literally be in this hotel room in Perth. So I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.